Hello, boys and girls. This is Mr. Sutherland, and we'll be going over the 4.4 Spooky Ghosts and Goblins exercise and measures of success book for the viola. If you're not a viola player, look at the alto clef here, then you get out of here. Go look at another video that is for your instrument because this is going to probably confuse you. And if you're a viola player, then stick with us because then you'll get to learn a little bit, and maybe this will be a speed review and you can just listen to me talk all night long. Alright, with that being said, let's look at the viola part of Spooky Ghosts and Goblins. Alright, so if you haven't played this yet, then I'll go over it with you in just a little bit. If you have played this, let's check to see your understanding, and you will play along with me. With that being said, we're going to set our metronome to about 60 beats per minute, and then we'll play together and see if you're doing okay. If it's not well for you at 60 beats per minute, then it probably means you need to go over with me a little bit further into this video so we can go step by step and try to figure out where it is that we kind of messed up on. Alright, so with that being said, let's get our metronome set. Here we are. There's our metronome, that nice little clicking sound. And here is our piece right here, Spooky Ghosts and Goblins. If you have your music in front of you, great. If not, look at the board and try your best to watch it. I know it's not great quality, but I said try your best, right? That's what we always try. All right, here we go from the top. 1 and 2 and set and play and... And we're done. Great. So if you played that no problem, you're good to go. We're still going in the same pace, and you haven't lost anything or missing out anything. If you're having a little bit of trouble, then I suggest you keep watching. All right. So let's go over a few little basic things. First of all, we're in the key of G. We know that because at the very beginning we only have one sharp in the key signature. And with one sharp in the key signature, that tells us F sharp is the only thing that has a sharp in it. Everything else is regular fingering, if you will. If you don't know your G major scale, please refer to you to go look at the Viola G major scale exercise, and then you can remember the fingerings that way. If you're good to go, then let's keep watching. The next thing is, it is in 4/4 time. That means 4 beats per measure, and the chord note gets 1 beat. And we also have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures. Not 4 measures and a repeat sign, something random like that. No, this is 2 lines of music read all the way through. And because there's no double bar line, that tells you, the musician, to go to the next line until you see the final bar line, which is here at the end of measure 8. And with that being said, now let's go over the rhythm part. The rhythm part is probably the worst part for most of us because that's just something that doesn't come natural when we read a piece of music. Pitches are easy to read for most of us. Some of us have more difficulty with rhythm, and then goes vice versa. But I know rhythm overall is new for us in this class, so let's go over that. Get our metronome set up at 60 beats per minute, and let's clap and count without the instruments in our hands. Put your bow and instrument down, and let's clap and count the rhythm all the way through to make sure we understand the rhythm as supposed to be played. Here we are. 1 and 2 and clap and count. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1. Rest. 3. Rest. Sorry, spooked you out there. Remember, this is a misterioso piece. And to be mysterious is kind of the theme of this exercise here and this piece, to make it sound ghouly and creepy and all that kind of stuff. And then a big scare boo at the end. All right, that's what it says here, misterioso. That's the kind of theme that we're going for this piece. All right, the other thing we're going to look for is the way I said boo at the end. And I kind of started here, but I didn't want to go over it just yet. The dynamics. Dynamics is the word we use when we're describing the volume of a piece, or where we have different parts of the piece that goes from loud to soft and so on. And remember, in class we went over 2 specific volumes. We went over piano, which is labeled by a P. which stands for playing soft or playing light and slow bower. Less bow, rather. Slow bower. That was a weird thing to say. And then we have forte, which is labeled with an F, which stands for playing loudly, more aggressively with the bow. Not to the point where it sounds terrible, but just louder. Okay? Another thing to go over is that when you have the dynamic marking, wherever it stays at, or rather wherever it's labeled at, whatever is labeled at, continuing on to the next dynamic marking, if you see one, it stays at same volume. So we have the very beginning a piano. That tells us that from the beginning until we see something different than piano, we stay at that level or that volume. As you see here, we continue on for 3 measures, and on the 4th measure, we get to a new dynamic marking, which is forte. And that lasts for a measure because, well, when you go back to measure 5 in the second line, we jump to another dynamic marking, which is different from forte. That's piano. We go back to soft. And that continues on for another 3 measures to measure 7, and then even to the first beat of measure 8, because we don't see anything underneath this note. There's the same dynamic marking that it was at the beginning. Until you see this, the second quarter note, after we get after this first quarter note, measure 8, we get to forte, which means that one note is played loudly, while the rest was played quietly or softly. All right, now let's try and identify all the pitches. If you haven't done so already, please label your pitches that you don't remember and label the fingerings. And if you don't know how to do that or don't remember the fingerings of the notes, then I'll help you with this part here. It's going to be a lot of scribble-scrabbing. So, scribble-scrabbling. That was weird. And follow along with me. So the very first pitch you're playing is going to be an E. All right? That's the first finger on the D string for the viola. E, and we'll put a number 1 above there to label that is the first finger. And the next 8th note and on, those 4 8th notes are all played the same way. They're just played as 8th notes, fast, right? Then we'll go to the next quarter note. It has a dot above it, meaning it's played staccato. And we'll go over that in just a second. So first, let's find out the pitch. That is F sharp. Remember that in the key signature we had an F sharp. That means all the Fs have a sharp sign next to it, and that you play them sharp. And that is a second fingering. We'll move on to a B, which is your first fingering on the A string, finger 1. Then we jump back to E again, first finger on the D string. That's played 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Here's the new part that we kind of are still struggling with to remember, is that when we go lower now, we got to go to the G string, and this is a C, third finger on the G string, and this is a B, which is 2 fingers on the G string. So we're going down to a next string. Go back up to a first finger E on the D string. Then we play F sharp, 2 fingers on the G string. I'm sorry, the D string. Then we play a G, which is 3 fingers on the D string. Sorry, I keep saying that. And I drew this 3 instead of a G, where it should be. And then the next pitch is an E again. We jump back down to 1 finger E on the D string. Okay? Then we go to measure 4. We're going to be looking at a high C, or I'm sorry, a high B, which is the B that you had earlier in the beginning of the piece of music, which is a 1 finger on the A string, B, then an open, a 0, open A, to 3 fingers, G, to 2 fingers, F sharp. All right then. I'm going to draw this in a different color on the second half, just so you can discern what you're seeing on the board here. We go back to measure 5, open, or I'm sorry, 1 finger E on the D string. Same exact pitches as it was in measure 1, F sharp to B. Same exact fingerings, 2 fingers F sharp, 1 finger B on the A string. Here we go, measure 6. This is where we jump up to a high D. Now, it's, as you heard me play earlier, I played the D much louder than the rest of it when I should have stayed quiet. That's a natural tendency to have. So we gotta be conscious of when you get to a higher pitch. Even though it's higher in pitch, doesn't mean we play faster or louder. We still gotta keep our volume the same it was earlier, unless otherwise indicated. So this is a high D, which is 3 fingers on the A string. Play it twice. Then we play 2 fingers on the D string for a C sharp. I'm sorry, the A string. And then we drop down to B's, 2 B's right here, which is 1 finger on the A string. Continue on to measure 7, and we have open A's, 1, 2, 3 times. Then we have G, we go to the D string on the 3rd finger to play twice, 1, 2, to F sharp, 2 fingers on the D string. Then finally E's at the very end, both played on the 1st finger on the D string. All right, so if you copied all that, then you probably didn't do your job, but hopefully you got a chance to review all the fingerings and all the notes on here as they're supposed to be played on your instrument. Now I'm going to erase it. If you haven't taken a screenshot of this yet or pause the video to cover this, just rewind. You can always rewind videos. That's the beauty of this, all right? So I'm going to erase all this junk off so it doesn't confuse you when you're reading along with me as we play. Great. Now let's try playing one measure at a time. First pizzicato in rhythm, and then we'll add the bow to it. We're going to go one measure at a time all the way through to kind of review. Let's get your viola and bow in hand. We're going to pizzicato with bow in hand and go over the fingerings. Again, the very first measure is a 1-finger E to F sharp to B. Let me give you a different view so that we can see a little bit better. Here we go. We're going to pizzicato and sing in this tempo that I'm going to tap here. 1 and 2 and sing and pluck. E, 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 F sharp, B. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Wrong string, I'm thinking about violin. Let's try it again. Ready and pluck. E, 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 F sharp, B. Try it again. Ready and pluck. E, 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 F sharp, B. Great. Now let's try with bow. I don't care how loud or soft you play. Let's just try to get the pitches correct and the bow movement correct. This is all played détaché back and forth. 1 and 2 and set and play and. Try it again. 1 and 2 and set and play and. Great. If you have that, let's make sure now we're playing soft. All right. To play soft, we're going to use the least amount of pressure we can to play the piano, to still make a sound, but also moving the least amount of bow. The more bow and speed you use, and the more pressure, the louder it gets. So we want to do the opposite of that. Let's try it very softly. 1 and 2 and lightly bow. Also notice that I played staccato. Staccato is when you bow short and abrupt. And to play staccato appropriately, we lift the bow off the string a little bit to play the note short, and let it ring just slightly by itself rather than forcing it with the bow hairs. So here it is, a staccato note. Notice I lift it just off the string barely. Here we go. Let's try playing it now. Soft with the 2 quarter note staccatos. Again, the staccato marking is when there's a dot above or below the note head, not next to it. Okay? 1 and 2 and set and play and. And notice, even though I played the note short, I didn't play them any faster. If you play them faster, that's just a different note entirely. We want them staccato notes. That's the style of playing that particular note, not a speed or like 8th notes or 16th notes. Now looking at measure 2, where you're playing E, 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 C, B. And that's that part where we're going down to the G string. So let's look at my fingers here as measure 2 is played. Pluck and sing. Ready and go. E, 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 C, B. Notice when I went down to the G string, I kept my first finger here and just crawled over my other 2 fingers ready to play. So everything is a strategy to be proactive before you start playing the next note. All right, always think ahead. Try it again. Ready and play. E, 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 C, B. Good, let's add bow. Again, we're still playing softly at piano and the 2 chord note staccato. 1 and 2 and set and bow. Try it again. Ready and play. Awesome. If you're doing okay, then good. Keep continuing on with the video. If not, always pause the video and try by yourself every time, okay? Now going on to measure 3. This measure 3 is pretty easy. Again, we're playing first finger E, 2 fingers F sharp, 3 fingers G, and then down to first finger E. All quarter note staccatos. Again, this part is really easy to rush because everything is played short, but stay with the tempo. All right? 1, 2, with the bow, and play. E. Sorry, wrong fingering. 1, and play. Try it again. 1, 2, set, and play. Good. And notice how my fingers are moving before I start playing the next note. Okay? Now let's go to measure 4. These are also chord notes, but they're slurred. They're tied together. So let's try going a pair at a time, 2 notes at a time, and looking at the bow directions. Okay, and this is also played forte, so a much heavier or more pressured bow with this faster speed. And we're going to start with the B to A, the very first 2 notes. And notice that the very first indicator for your bow direction is a little bracket there telling you to play a down bow. All right, and then the next 2 will play up bow. Okay, let's look at these first 2 notes. Going to B to A, down bow. Let's get to playing position with our bow is ready to play. First finger on the A string to open A. Ready and play. Try again. Ready and play. And that should be played nice and loud, full bow. Try it again. Awesome. Now we're going to go and play just the last 2 notes by themselves. Not going to add them onto it. So we're going to start with a 3rd finger G to 2 finger F sharp. And we're using that as an up bow. So we're going to play this with it starting from the tip of our string, or bow rather. Ready and play. Try it again. Get set. Ready and play. Awesome. And if you got that, let's put those 2 together. 1, 2, set and play. Great. Good. You're good? Okay, let's go on. Now let's go to measure 5. Oh, we already done measure 5 because it's the same as measure 1. Moving on, go to measure 6. This is the part that gets kind of tricky because the jump from a B to a high D, and instead of going back to an E like we had those first 2 measures in the exercise. So starting here, we got 3 fingers D played twice rather than 4 times, as the other measures were. 2 fingers C sharp, and then we go right to 2 quarter notes played as same pitch, B, B, and played staccato. And this is all played piano, played very softly, very lightly. Let's pizzicato, pluck and sing the note names first to get the right fingers and the right notes in rhythm. 1 and 2 and sing and pluck. D, D, C sharp, B, B. Try it again. D, D, C sharp, B, B. Good. Now let's add the bow. Make sure we're playing light and soft, and then the 2 quarter note B's are played staccato. 1 and 2 and set and play lightly. Good. Now let's go on and look at measure 7. We have 2 A's, open A, and then it's played to 8th notes, go into a quarter note staccato 8th note, or quarter note staccatoed A note, open, and then we go to 3 fingers G, 2 8th notes down to a quarter note staccato F sharp. And notice that the bow markers are there to remind you that this is played down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? If you need to mark those for yourselves, please do so with the brackets and the V's. Otherwise, let's try pizzicatoing, plucking and singing that melody, starting on an open A. 1 and 2 and ready and pluck. A, G, G, F sharp. 1, 2, again, pluck and sing. A, G, G, F sharp. Let's bow that. 1 and 2 and set and lightly. 1, 2, again and play. Awesome. Then we move on to the very last two notes. Again, the first quarter note is staccato and it's played piano because the beginning and this whole time from measure 5 to that measure 8 has been played piano with all other markings indicating to play any different. Then we have a rest with a retake above it, telling you to circle your bow back to a down bow position and to play that very last note. Forte, loudly, and short at the same time. So let's try measure 8. 1, 2, with bow and play. E, circle, and E, much more aggressively. Always pause the video and practice by yourself if you need some extra time. Otherwise, let's continue on. Let's try playing this piece now together at 55 beats per minute. 50 beats per minute, and I'll have the 8th note click on there as well to give you a better idea of separation, keeping everything nice and even. Going now to 50 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, get our bows ready. 2, get ready. 1 and 2 and set and play and soft. Forte. Soft. Soft. Circle. And there's that forte there. Awesome. If you got that, then you're doing all right. Take a little bit of time to practice it by yourself, all of it, piece by piece. Do measures at a time or 2 measures at a time. Group everything together and find the difficult spots. Remember to always plan and then reflect, play what you did, reflect upon what you did wrong, and try to improve that. Make a plan to improve it. Doing everything slowly, grouping things by pairs or 3s or even 4s. Nothing more than that until you get all the little section done 100% accuracy. Now let's try playing with the actual recording. The recording here on this website is called Smart Music, and it has a pretty spooky melody background to it. So let's see what it sounds like against my playing. Now the metronome's set at 84 beats per minute. Let's drop it down to about 75 beats per minute so you can play along with me and see what it sounds like all together. All right, with that being said, let's get started. Here we go. Everything's set properly. It's going to give us 4 clicks to count off to give our tempo, and then we'll play it together. Okay, set. Instruments ready. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. And if you have any questions about anything, let me know in class, or I'll see you guys later by email or something like that. All right. Bye, guys. Take care. See ya.